All right, let's get the show on the road here. Give me a second here, folks. Where are my? There we go. Let's get rid of that. Let's get our little banner going here. Where's my banners? Y'all, I'm out of practice. There we go. All right, we got it rolling. Hey, folks, I hope you're having a good Friday night. Thanks for joining me. This is, of course, the Friday night prepper pre-party show. We are going to talk about winter storm preparedness, as that seems to be the biggest thing right now that's kind of buzzing for everybody. Let me give you a little update first on Mr. Kitty, and thank you everybody who sent me really kind messages. I really appreciate it. It meant the world to me that y'all were checking in on me and my cat. His surgery went successful, and he is home. We're trying to manage his pain in a way that, he doesn't seem to like it when you give him the medications. So we're trying to use minimal amounts of those, but also like trying to judge, like, does he look like he's uncomfortable? Is he being a little cranky? That kind of thing. Because we don't want him to be in pain, but he gets pretty strong reaction to the medications where he gets like really doped out on just a little bit of gabapentin, which isn't even like an opiate or anything like that. But he's doing well, seems to be healing. And when he's kind of in that sweet spot in between like the medication and not taking it and being, lucid, he seems like his old self, happy, purring, loves to sit on the laps, that kind of thing, eating and drinking his water. So we're really, really happy and grateful. Money well spent as far as we're concerned. Yeah, it's expensive for veterinary care, but he's part of our family, and that's my boy. That's my boy. So thank you everybody who checked in on him. It really does mean the world to me that y'all, those of you guys who messaged me and asked about him, I really, truly appreciate you. All right, next big thing is silver and gold. Whoa, has it been a week? Wow. Silver, I checked a little while ago. On one of the sites, silver was showing at $103 per ounce. Most sites are showing around $101 per ounce. Gold is showing at $4,943 per ounce. Might be a little bit higher right now. This is crazy stuff. It's actually even as somebody who likes silver and gold, and I'm happy that my stack is worth significantly more than it was just a few weeks ago. It is a little concerning because one of the biggest factors with gold and silver is it has an inverse relationship with how people trust the US dollar. And so when gold and silver are doing really well, it's kind of an indication that people are losing faith and trust in the dollar. That's not a good thing. So we need to keep a close eye on this. But if you've been watching me for 6 years, if you've been with me since the beginning, every single long video and live stream that I've done, I ended with keep planting your seeds, keep stacking your silver. If you had bought 1 ounce of silver per week, which would have, for the most part, up until the last few weeks, would have cost you only about $30 a week. Maybe in the last 6 months it started to go up. So, but for the most part, it would have cost you about $30 a week. You would be sitting on now between $20,000 and $25,000. Between $20,000 and $25,000 in value in gold and silver. What would you do with $25,000? How much would that help your prepping right now? What if you had an emergency, a family emergency, a medical emergency, a car emergency, a house emergency? Folks, don't tell me that financial prepping isn't part of prepping, because we have absolutely proven that. So people are asking me now, like, Sarge, is it too late? Is this the top end of it? Nobody can predict that. Anybody that goes on here and does a video, and I'm going to be working on one talking about like what people are saying. So if you see that thumbnail and you see like silver to 500, right, or whatever, just know that like I will explain that in the video. That doesn't mean I'm predicting that. I'm talking about people who are saying that. Okay. I don't know. I wish I could tell you. If I could, I would, but then we would all be buying tons and tons of silver if we knew it was going to be 500 in 6 months or a year. There's no way to predict this. Could it pull back? Sure. But remember, with silver and gold, we as preppers and those in the silver stacking community, we don't think about it in terms of like we're selling it next week. If you're looking to make money that way with silver and gold, then that's high risk. And you might need to look into futures contracts, which I don't talk about on this channel. Okay. And I don't endorse that kind of stuff. If you're looking at long-term holding, like for retirement or for emergencies, then I don't care if it pulls back to $70. That doesn't really affect me in any way. And if gold pulls back to, say, what's it at, almost 5,000, if it pulls back to 4,000, that doesn't affect me or hurt me in any way because I'm not selling my stack tomorrow. Okay. And that's how you have to think about it. It's a little bit different than if you're day trading, Bitcoin flipping, or selling future contracts, or you're doing options, things like those are higher risk for short-term profits if that's what you're looking for. I don't talk about that stuff because I don't like high risk. And as a prepper, I'm thinking more long term. Okay. But very exciting. If you've been stacking with me since the beginning, congratulations. You are a king now. And you should be happy about that. Go out and buy yourself that nice bottle of bourbon. Celebrate a little bit because your hard work in being diligent with this and sacrificing that $30 instead of buying, beers or cigarettes or whatever it is that people spend money on, video games, whatever, gambling. Instead of doing that, you put it towards your stack. You deserve a little bit of celebration right now. So go ahead and do that and be proud of yourself because you did the right thing by putting money towards the future. And in this case, maybe that future is now. Now, you do what you want with your stack. I'm not selling mine, but it's nice to know that I've got that for emergencies. Like we just had that big vet bill, right? If I needed to, I could sell some. All right, last things here. Next week's stream. Make sure you're tuning in next week, folks. The next week on the 30th, same time, 7:45 Eastern Standard Time, we're going to do our panel. It's going to be an awesome show. We've got Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. We've got the Livingston Man. We've got Vision Preparedness. We've got the Roaming Prepper, and we've got myself. We're going to be talking about our 2026 predictions, our Doomsday Bingo card. And these are actually things that we, for the most part, hope don't happen because they're all bad. But remember how last year everybody kept saying, well, I didn't have that on my bingo card. I didn't have that on my bingo card. We decided that we were going to do this. Like, okay, let's do one for 2026. Aliens are going to land. Did you have that on your bingo card? So that's going to be a fun little stream. Make sure you check that out next Friday, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link's already up. The stream is already set up. So all you have to do is set your timer. Okay. It's already in my live streams. It'll be here. All right. Next one. There is a poll at the top. Make sure you check out that poll and go vote on it. And then let me say hi to chat here before I go into my winter tips. Now, this is specifically this stream. We've done a few videos about winter preparedness. This one is specifically for last minute tips because this storm, some people are already looking at it. It's like on your doorstep. Some people are going to be getting it tomorrow. So this is last minute stuff we're going to do today. All right. Wow. We got a lot of chat going on here. I'm going to have to scroll through this kind of fast. Appreciate everybody who's checked in here, especially my moderators. Really appreciate you guys. You guys know the rules. No racism, no sexism. Be kind to the moderators. If you have some argument that you want to make, articulate your point. We don't mind disagreements here. Just make sure you can articulate and debate it. All right. I see Scott. I see Virginia Bushcrafter. Thank you so much. Sassy Gal Prepping. Thank you so much. Quiet in North Virginia. I hope it stays quiet. Let's see. Let's keep going. Lee, Cold War Prepper. How are you doing? Yeah, you were in Texas, right? So you were right. You were right smack in the middle of it. My prayers go with you and your family. And I got a couple other friends in Texas too that I'm definitely thinking about. Creative Redundancy. Good to see you, my friend. How are you doing tonight? Prepper for the Ages. How are you? It's good to see you. Appreciate you. Coffee first, then speak. I hope you are having a good Friday. Okay, Lazarus Long, how are you tonight? It's good to see you, my friend. Sounds like my audio is coming through good. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Rural Report, how are you doing tonight? It's good to see you. Utah Mike, I hope you're having a good Friday. And if I miss anybody, I apologize. I'm scrolling a little bit fast here so we can get to our topic. God is great. It's good to see you. How are you doing over there in Japan? 37 degrees. Woo! Appreciate you checking in all the way from Japan. Tia Nanas, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Orlando Prepper, how are you doing tonight? Gold closed at 5,000. Wow. We broke it, folks. Today was a historic day. We broke 100 for silver and 5,000 for gold. That is incredible, folks. That is incredible. And there's good and bad to that, as I was saying earlier. There's good and bad to that. So we need to be paying attention right now. This is in unprecedented times, okay? All right, keep going here. Let's see if I missed anybody. Grit and Grace, the Farming Florist, how are you doing tonight? Appreciate you giving a little bit of your Friday with us, community. Hi. Okay, JD prepping Erie. How are you doing today? Thanks for joining us. Cashed your silver in. Hey man, it's not a bad time to do it. It's not a bad time to take some profits. I hope you put it towards something really useful for yourself. Gunville, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well up in Massachusetts. I think you guys are getting some of this stuff too, right? On this weekend. And hey, our Patriots, Gunville and I are both. I'm originally from Massachusetts. I actually live in South Carolina now, but I'm still a Patriots fan. And our Patriots are playing against Denver on Sunday at 3. Really, really excited about this. If we win, we get to go to the Super Bowl again. My Patriots have not been to the Super Bowl in several years here. This is really exciting. I'm so excited. My wife's a Patriots fan too, so we're really excited about this. Yeah, it's a good question, Utah Mike. I would like to know too what you got, JD, what you got for what they gave you for a price on your buyback on your sale. Food Forest Permaculture checking in from Canada. How are you doing? It's good to see you, Howie. Yeah, if you can, guys, smash the like button. If you're brand new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I promise you we're getting into the topic here in just a minute. 2 feet of snow. Oh. All right. Dangerous Freedoms. Wayne, how are you doing tonight? Checking in from Tennessee. It's good to see you. All right, cool. I think I'm caught up with chat. Let's get into this, folks. I don't want to keep you here all night. I know everybody's got prepping to do and you got family to spend some time with, I hope, or some friends. Or maybe you just got a little cat that wants to sit on your lap and watch Fallout Season 2, like my cat and I are going to do later on tonight. All right, let's get to my notes here. All right, number 1, top off all your fuel sources. You still got time, most of you, unless the storm's already on you. Now it's too late for that. Top off your fuel sources. Go in the morning, fill up your gas tanks, fill up your propane if you need it. Top off your batteries on all of your battery banks, your phone, your laptops, your flashlights that are rechargeable, your solar power stations if you've got one. I think that's a fantastic prep, by the way. That's probably one of the preps that I've gotten the most use out of is our large solar power station and our panels. We use it all the time. We use it for power outages. We use it for camping. My wife uses it when she's vending at nighttime. It's a really nice tool to have, and it's silent, unlike the fuel generators, which those are really good to have too. But they do make a lot of noise, and they can give up your they can create some in a longer term situation. They can create some security situations. Short term situation, you're fine. Go ahead and use it. Just make sure you're using it safely. Outside ventilated area, do your checks on it and all that, follow the directions, all that kind of stuff. Charge up all your battery banks, your power stations, all that stuff. Start gathering together your flashlights, your lanterns, your candles if you use candles. As a reminder, don't leave candles unattended. It is a big cause of fire. Sometimes people will light a candle, they'll fall asleep, or they'll leave the room. The glass can heat up, and then boom. And that's all it takes. It catches a little piece of clothing or some bedding or a curtain or something like that. And there are a lot of fires that are caused for that. So don't leave candles unattended if you use them. I mean, I like candles. I've used them for years. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure somebody's in the room with it. And if you got little kids or pets, especially because they tend to run around and do zoomies and stuff like that, you don't want them knocking over that. Same goes with if you use kerosene heaters. I've used kerosene heaters. They're safe if used correctly, but you need to monitor them. Watch out with little kids and pets because they can knock them over, and you don't want that. All right, fill the bathtub if you do that. Hang on 1 second here. Got to do a little adjustment. Fill the bathtub if you can. Fill some containers with clean drinking water. Your pipes can freeze. Your water can get shut off. If there's a power outage and the filters in town don't work, if you're using city water, they can shut it off. People can have malfunctions with their wells too. So fill up some extra water. Better to have it than not to have it. You want some for drinking. You want some for flushing the toilet. You want some for cleaning. You want some for washing up. Okay. You can do that tomorrow. That's a good last minute prep. Set up a warm room. Okay. If you don't know what this is, your warm room, it's easier to heat one room of the house than it is if the power goes out than to try to heat your whole house, right? So close off some doors, hang some blankets, put some blankets under the cracks in the doors, hang some blankets over windows, things like that. bring your sleeping, if you got good like winter sleeping bags, those are really good preps to have too. Well worth the money to spend on that. Bring those inside if you usually keep your camping gear outside. You can set up a tent in, excuse me, sorry about that. You can set up a tent in your largest room, in your living room or whatever. Things get really bad, pile the whole family in that tent, sleep close together. Okay, bring the pets in there too if you want. The tent inside the room creates like this insulation layer effect, and it can actually get pretty decently comfortable inside that. So I know it sounds weird, but yeah, set up a tent inside your house if you lose power and it's really cold. Put all the family members in there. Remember, get off the floor a little bit because the floor can be cold. Use your air mattresses and whatever you're going to do that, but get a little bit off the floor. Pile on those blankets. Pile everybody together. It's a good way to stay warm if you have to. Okay, that's called a warm room. If you have power, and especially if you've got like gas stoves, things like that, do a little baking tomorrow, right? That will help to warm the house, give you a little bit of morale boost, right? Cook some cookies or brownies or something like that, right? And also think about like food that warms you up, like soup and things like that. Prep some food also tomorrow that doesn't need to be cooked. Like go ahead and prepare it in advance. That way, if you lose power and you don't want to fiddle with the stove, the camping stoves and things like that, at least you've got some sandwiches made and some other snacks and things like that, things that don't necessarily have to be heated up. But if you do have power, why not? Because it's going to be your house heating is going to be fighting against that cold outside. Make some of the foods that will warm you up a little bit of hot soup with add a little bit of hot sauce to it too, right? Hopefully you've already done this, but bring in your firewood. You want it to be nice and dry. It will burn better if it's dry. Unfortunately, I think some people found out that you need to have your wood aged in advance to burn really hot and long. If you buy wood from somebody who hasn't aged it, like a cord of wood from somebody who like cut it down on their property and it hasn't been aged and dried correctly, it's not going to get super hot and it's not going to burn very well, and it might burn really fast. So that's something you kind of need to do in advance. But if you've got it, bring it into your garage or some other wet place where you've got it covered so it's not getting soaking wet once the snow starts. Okay. Protect your pipes. Let your faucets drip. A little slow drip will help to mitigate the chance of a frozen pipe. If pipes freeze and explode, thousands of dollars in damage. Dripping your water faucets, a few extra dollars on your water bill. Okay, it's a nice trade-off. If you've got the insulation and the snow hasn't hit you yet, do that first thing in the morning. Insulate your pipes. Okay. Frozen pipes are very, very expensive. Frozen exploded pipes are very, very expensive to fix. Check your first aid medications. If you need a refill on your medications, try to get it first thing in the morning. If again, if the snow hasn't already hit you. A lot of times pharmacies and doctors will fill a few days early, especially if there's a storm coming. The protocols are a little bit different for that. So see if you can get enough for a couple days at least. Do all your laundry and your dishes before the storm hits. If you lose power, you'll at least have several days worth of clean clothes and clean dishes. If you have time to go to the store tomorrow, maybe get some paper plates and plastic utensils and things like that. Disposable plates and utensils, right? If your water's not running, or if you normally just throw them in the dishwasher, it's kind of a nice convenience to be able to once in a while say, I'm just using the disposable stuff. Is it the best thing for the environment? No, but I will sometimes use them if there's a power outage just for like that nice little convenience. When you're doing your laundry, make sure you've got some of your winter clothes clean. Go ahead and do that before the storm hits. If you haven't already done so, find your winter hat. Some of us only need it a couple weeks out of the year, so it's probably buried somewhere in a closet with your winter coat and your gloves. And at nighttime, if you have no power in the house and your heating is not sufficiently warming the house, like if you've got kerosene or fireplace, whatever you're using, if it's not sufficiently warming the house, sleep with a winter hat on. I've done it many times. It actually helps quite a bit. I've slept with gloves on when I've winter camped. Does it feel a little weird? Yeah, but I still was able to fall asleep, and I sure was glad that I didn't wake up with numb fingers, because then I could get my fire going in the morning. So you can get used to that. You can get used to sleeping with gloves and hat on. It might feel a little bit funny at first, but if you're tired, you'll fall asleep. Bring your pets inside if you can. Like, I know sometimes livestock and things like that, you might not be able to, but your cats and dogs, give them some shelter. If you can't bring them inside because they're feral cats, like some people have feral cats on their farms and stuff to help with the mice, things like that. I get it. I had a farm. I understand. Make sure they've got a warm place to go. Stack some old blankets for them in the barn or whatever you're doing. Make sure their water, their water is going to freeze. So somebody's got to go out there the next day and bang it down and put new water out and that kind of thing. They still have to drink. And they sell stuff. It's probably too late now for your storm, but they sell stuff that will prevent, like, these little electric bowls and stuff like that. I used to use that at my farm for the horses when I had horses and chickens, to it would prevent their water from totally freezing so they could get water. We used heat lamps in our barn when it was like real bad. We'd turn the heat lamps on all night long. Helps a little bit. Like, it's still going to be cold in the barn, but it helps a little bit. Check your snow and ice tools. Make sure you've got what you need for shovels and, like, windshield scrapers, ice melt, or kitty litter, or whatever you're going to use. And if you don't already have them, you're probably going to have a hard time finding it tomorrow. So see what you can improvise. A garden shovel will work in a pinch. A credit card an old credit card can be used as a windshield scraper in a pinch. Having a nice dedicated scraper definitely works better, but if you have to use a credit card, use a credit card. Download offline entertainment, so podcasts, audibles, like the audible books, movies, things like that. Download those onto your devices before the power outage. A lot of people don't realize this, but your library has a lot of magazines and things like that you can get in digital form. If you've got a library card, you can go on there and download that stuff onto your device, especially if you've got, like, a notebook or iPad or one of those. They work really good for that, and it's just like reading a magazine. All right, and then last one I've got, and then I'm going to check your chat again. Last one I've got is check on your neighbors. Check on your neighbors. Check on your elderly neighbors. Check on your sick neighbors, right? Like, are they staying home? Do they have everything they need? Can you spare a flashlight for them? Can you, did they get a chance to go out to get food? If you've got extra food, share some with your neighbors if you can spare it, right? And then once it's safe to do so, once the storm is safe to travel in, check on them again. Are they okay, right? Especially our elderly neighbors. That's, somebody's got to see if they're okay, right? And their family may live far away and may not be able to get to them. If the phones are down, the power is out, you might be that first responder for that person. Remember that. Okay. So that's also community is also part of prepping. We believe that here. It's very important part of the message that we try to get out here at Prepping with Sarge. Okay. All right, folks, if you've gotten anything out of this so far, please consider giving me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to check in the description down below for some product discount codes that may help you in your preparedness journey. Currently, I got rolling down the bottom here AppMex, which is my source for silver and gold. This little QR code here will also take you to AppMex, and also in the description is the link to AppMex, so you can use any one of those. It helps me out. I will tell you that AppMex has recently, because of the high demand for silver and gold, you now have to place a minimum order online of $500. Now, this has happened in the past where the demand has been really high. It's possible that, fixing a lighting issue. All right, I'll fool with it later. It's possible that when things settle down, they might be able to bring that back down and not have that. But currently, right now, there's a $500 minimum. Now, that's the bad news. Good news is that's like 5 silver coins or one 1/10 ounce gold. So it's like really easy to hit 500 because the prices are so high. It is what it is, folks. But there's other discount codes down there: Wazoo survival gear, Rhino rescue first aid kits, Jace Medical for your emergency food supply and medications. All kinds of cool stuff down there. Make sure you check that out. All right, let me go ahead and check chat. And then we're going to go ahead and close this one for the night. But let's say hi to everybody again, see if there's any new messages. See if you guys had any tips that you shared in chat. Let me scroll back up, see if I can find where I left off. Looks like you guys put some good ideas in there. Cool. $5.03 per dime. Oh, for your sales for JD, that's what they gave you, is $5 per dime. Okay. I am well and enjoying spring-like weather. Sarge, cool. Glad somebody is. Hey, you know what? Constitutional silver is a good way to go. Old pre-1965 quarters and dimes, some of your half dollars. That's a good way to go. Fallout turned out to be a great show. Yeah, season 1, I think was a little bit better because had that like novelty experience, and if you played the games, it like felt like really cool to see those game worlds be turned into live action. Season 2 is a little bit slower, but I'm still enjoying it. And Lucy, the main character, is easy on the eyes. I am going to say that. My wife heard me say that too, so it's okay. Storm is here in Fort Worth. Yeah, be careful, Scott. Be careful, brother. Michael Wolf, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. We have lots of snow yeah, the ice is especially dangerous. Especially, ice will take down trees and power lines and things like that. And the black ice, it can look like it's safe to drive on, but it's not. Fill in the water jugs. Good job, Sassy. That's what I'm talking about. Good suggestion there from Coffee. You know where your main valve to shut off water is. Yep. I have tarps ready to create a warm room. Awesome. Good job, Sassy. Yep. Turn off and keep water on a drip, hot and cold. All your faucets running. Do not freeze. Yep. It definitely will reduce the risk of it. Yeah. And a couple extra dollars on your water bill beats thousands of dollars on an exploded pipe. Vanessa Katie, how are you doing tonight? It's good to see you. Yeah, you can do a little couch for it. Make it fun for the kids and the pets and for the adult kids. Creating a micro environment. Exactly. That's what you're doing when you create the warm room. Yep, you got it. You got it, Vanessa Kitty. They're saying they were worried about the power outage. They had no backup. Yeah. Well, thanks for helping them, Coffee First. I don't think people realize that, that like they think, oh, it's just a snowstorm. If it's heavy snow or ice, it can absolutely take out power. Or if somebody slips on the road and hits a pole, that can take out power. Hey, Burpee Yoga Uncle, it's good to see you. Yeah, stay warm too, brother. Although you're usually in a warm environment over there, right? Excuse me. Thermos, yes. Filled with either hot soup or hot coffee. I like your way of thinking. Yep. That's it. That's a good idea, Wayne. What are you putting on the crock pot? You doing like shredded beef or something like that? Yep. It's good to have this stuff in advance. But if you didn't get it, some of these supplies are going to be hard to get right now. So do the best you can with what you got in your house. Running water, do not freeze. Keep you all your faucets dripping. Yep, we do it here when in the wintertime too. So here in South Carolina, we get probably like 3 or 4 weeks of weather where it's cold enough where you have to do that. Yep, seasoned wood, store coverage, smart. You won't know your pipes froze and broke until it thought, yes, that is truly, and it's a bad day when it happens. I have a cesspool. I can't do that. I said put a bucket underneath. It only needs to drip where you can. Yep. Yeah, it's weird that milk, like, I mean, I guess if you got kids, you want to have milk, but like, I don't drink a ton of milk here. I use it in my cereal. And then sometimes if I do a protein shake, but Milk and bread and eggs is like the thing that everybody wants to go and buy. You got to be cut and dry for at least. Thank you, Michael Wolf, for saying that. So for your firewood, it's got to be cut and dry for at least 3 months before you can burn it. If you have trees have been down for 3 months, you can cut it up and burn it. Shovel Bumps, good to see you. How are you doing tonight? Food, water, lots of candles, flashlights, batteries, wool, everything. Wool is a great fabric because even if it gets wet, it tends to stay. It retains some heat. Yep, bring your cows inside. Definitely do that. Oh yeah, pets give off. We love that in the wintertime. Like pets give off a ton of heat. Even Mr. Kitty, just that small little cat, like he's like a little heater, little toaster. Wayne says he topped off his kerosene cans and ethanol-free gas for the heaters and Coleman gear. Nice. Canned goods, water, eggs, and milk was wiped out of the stores. Yeah. So some options, of course, if you're lucky enough to have a fireplace or a wood burning stove, that's a good option. The kerosene heaters is another option. And I used those when I was in Kentucky. Another option is those little propane heaters like Mr. Buddy. Let me see. I can probably give you guys a link for Mr. Buddy. Hang on one second. It's not going to help you now. You're not going to get it in time, but for next time. And these run off the little propane cans, or you can get the adapter and run it off a bigger propane thing. I crack the window here. You want to get some fresh air going with it. Copy. All right. So this here, I'm going to put the link up. This is an Amazon affiliate link, so I get a little commission if you use it. That's the Mr. Buddy heaters that we're talking about. Those are good to have. I just put it in chat. Cereal was wiped out. Yeah. We're good on all the essentials. I need to stack them on. So I don't run out of caffeine. Milk, eggs, very little bread, TP, and what? So there was a shortage on TP. Geez, oh man, we're gonna hit that every time now, aren't we? Yes, good suggestion there, Lee. So as soon as it's safe to do so after the storm, if you're using solar, go out and clear the snow and ice off your solar panels. Now, if it's really, really heavy snow, you might have to think about getting the snow off the roof too. Again, be safe. I don't need anybody in the community falling off your roof, busting your leg, busting your hip. You know, if you don't think you can do it safely, hire somebody to do it for you as soon as it's safe to do so. But heavy snow on roofs can cause problems. Yep, dry bedding for the paddocks and barns. Yep. Bag over a car mirror. Yeah, so there's all kinds of little tricks you can do for keeping the making it a little bit easier to get back in your car. Some people like to lift the wipers off the windshield before the storm hits. I'm thankful that I don't really have to deal with that too much here in South Carolina. And where I'm at in Charleston, like, yeah, we might get some of this, but it looks like by the time it gets to us and mixing with our salt air, it's mostly going to be rain for us. That could change. If I do get snow, I'll get a little footage of that for you, some drone footage maybe. See what we can do with it. No bananas. Oh man. Coffee says she is the elderly neighbor. Well, then somebody better check on you, okay? Tell the young people in your neighborhood to come. They need to come shovel your driveway and get the ice off your car. Table soft works great for melting ice. And most real quick, be safe for pets. For your immediate driveway and whatnot, that ice melter works really, really good. In a pinch, you can use cat litter. It's a pain to clean up later on, though. Salty water. I'm trying to think what else I've used in the past. Once it's above the temperature's above freezing, you just use some hot water to get it broken down and melted. Once the temperature is above freezing. I've seen people do that also with their car windshields. I've never tried it, but I know some people will put that on their windshields, and then basically just peeling that off when you need to get back in your car. Spray shovels with WD-40, DW40. I never heard that. You will know what happens if Sarge doesn't go live next week. All right, out in the woods, you ready? Good to see you, Kentucky Craig. How are you doing? Yes, thank you for saying that one, Shovel Bum. I almost forgot that. Open up your cabinet doors that are under the sinks. That helps some of the warm air from the house get in under there. That's a great suggestion. Thank you for saying that. Oh man, longest I had was 3 weeks. That was a Kentucky ice storm. 3 weeks without power. Yeah, and if you absolutely have to drive, go super slow. Be careful because again, that black ice, it might look like it's safe to drive, but it's really crazy stuff. Please be careful. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. Yep, that's another good suggestion there from Shovel Bum. You can put your food in a cooler and stick it outside if the power goes out and it's below 35 degrees. Yeah, keeping all the gear stored together definitely makes it easier, doesn't it? Jack Spearco from the Survival Podcast, I think he used to call it your blackout kit. Just put it all in a tub or storage bin. Put it in a closet somewhere, and then periodically, a couple times a year, bring it out, charge everything in there back up, check everything for functioning, and it's always ready to go. Let's see. Okay, so there's your that link right there will take you to the Mr. Buddy heater. Hey, Mike, it's good to see you. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. I was just telling them about our panel next week. It's gonna be a good time. Some of those things on our bingo card have already happened too. Excuse me, I'm just scrolling down. All right, cool. I'm almost caught up here. Bread and milk again. Bread and milk. You got to have your bread and milk. All right, Sassy's got the rocking the tarps on the windshield. Mike says if you're in a pinch, softener with salt crystals will melt ice if the stores are out of ice melt. Okay. Shovel Bomb. If you do travel, votive candles could be the difference of losing a limb or digits. Some heat is better than no heat if you're stuck in a car. Yep. Yep. Good suggestion there. Good suggestion. All right, cool. I think I got everybody. All right, let me go to my closing here. Milk sandwiches, yum. Let me go to my closing here. I want to close this out on my notes. All right, let's check that poll first. Let's see. Let's see what you guys voted. 76% of you have said you are prepped and ready for a winter power outage. Oops. 13% of you said no. Well, now you should be after watching this video. 11% said sort of. Okay. All right, let's close this one out, folks. This is my final positive statement for you guys. You've been with me for a long time. You know I like to end with a little bit of positivity when we can. So winter storms are a good test for your preps. It can help point out things that you didn't think of and remind you of how capable you are. It can also be fun to just slow down when all the power is off. Take that time to read by a fire, something that you probably have been saying that you would get to, but you haven't been able to get to. Finish that song that you were writing if you play an instrument. Finish that poem that you were writing. Finish that painting that you were working on. Winter survival is about staying grounded, staying ready, and trusting that we can weather whatever blows in, be it snow, wind, or ice. You have this. You can do this. I believe in you. Until next week, when we'll be doing that 2026 Doomsday Bingo panel. Know that I'm with you in spirit. I thank each and every one of you for joining me tonight, and especially the moderators for always helping out. I appreciate you all sincerely. Keep planting your seeds. Keep stacking your silver. This is Prepping with Sarge. You all have a great weekend. Have fun. Enjoy the snow. Be safe. Don't do anything dangerous. Don't drive in it if you don't have to. Good night, everybody.